Do you get really worked up before a trip? Everyone knows about the fear of flying, but what about pre-travel anxiety? That moment that spans between booking your trip and actually going away on vacation that can be fraught with anxiety. Today I'm going to come up with some tips and tricks that can help you overcome your pre-travel anxieties. Hello, my name is Claire and welcome to Generation Calm, where you can learn to reduce your stress and anxiety naturally in your own time so that your mind and body feel great. Before we get started today, I'd love to know what specifically you stress about when you go on vacation. I've created a poll in the community section so that you can just click on what it is that stresses you out most of all, and if what you find stressful I haven't written on there, then please leave a message in the comments section so I can make the right kind of video just for you. Newsflash, you, along with everybody else, are going to always feel at least some kind of nervousness before you go away on a trip. So some people have a fear of traveling called hodophobia. That's not exactly what I'm going to be covering in this video today. I'm going to be talking about that pre-travel anxiety where you have a desire to travel, you've actually booked the trip, but you're starting to get really nervous about going away from home now. It's actually a type of anticipatory anxiety. That means you're anticipating problems before they've even begun. And the problem is that our imaginations are amazing, but they can allow our stresses and worries to get away and run away with us. It means we're anticipating problems and issues before we've even run into any. Now, with pre-travel anxiety, it might be that you're naturally an anxious person and it's just rolling over to travel, or it could be that you are specifically worried about traveling only. But know this, it is common to feel anxious and nervous before you travel. Everyone does. And that's because there's a lack of control when we travel. We're out of our normal routine and we're at the mercy of the transportation, the airlines. We're at the mercy of whether the photographs in the brochures do justice for the hotel room that you're going to be staying in. We don't know if we're going to pick up bugs and get ill when we're traveling. So there's an element of control that it's kind of difficult to let go of. When we're at home or in our safe environment and routine, it might feel boring, but at least it feels safe. But there are some things we can do to help ourselves feel more in control and therefore happier and less stressed before we go on vacation. So my first tip is try and keep up a healthy routine before you go traveling. By that I mean eat healthily, exercise regularly, keep up your sleep hygiene, drink plenty of water. Being well fed and healthy will help you feel less stressed when any challenges arise during your travel plans. And if nothing else, getting enough sleep is probably the most important thing to help you feel less stressed before your travel. Okay, number 2 is one that I do all the time, and that is to keep a running list of what you need to get planned and prepared before your trip. I literally keep a running list of this. It's at my hands at all times, because I could just start thinking, oh yeah, I really need to remember to do that before I go away. If I don't have my paper and my list, then I'll forget that, and then that runs around in my head and I worry about it. So keep a running list and inventory of all the things that you have to plan before you go away, because we do have to plan a lot more. And by the way, there are plenty of other people's packing lists to work off of. If you Google packing lists or if you look on Pinterest for other people's packing lists, and I find those a really good, helpful starting point. Another idea is to start a travel journal before you even go away on your trip. And if you have children with you, get a travel journal for each one of them. And remember, it doesn't just have to be writing. You can draw in there, you can add like travel tickets in there, you can put photographs in there once you print them off at the end of your trip. And you can make it a really nice journal to hold on to for years to come. And not only that, when you write things down, when you're nervous or even excitable, it's going to be helpful to put those experiences down on paper. because it helps us work through our emotions and process situations more easily. So don't just use your travel journal while you're traveling, use a travel journal in your run-up to planning for the trip as well. When it comes to work, make sure that, if you have email for work, make sure that you set an auto reply for the days that you're away, but also add an extra 2 days for when you return in case you have some backlog of workload to catch up with. That just gives you a little bit of leeway. Also, if there's no way you can get out of answering emails while you're away, make sure you plan a certain time during your trip. Let's say for 1 hour a day, you're going to check your emails and reply to anything urgent, and it's at 10 a.m. every day. Then the people you're traveling with know that, and the people at work know that too. Before you go away, make sure you use the internet as a source of information to help you out. So for the first couple of days, you might feel disoriented, after your big travel day, you may not feel like going very far to a restaurant. So make sure you've looked up some cafes, some local stores, and how to get there, and the times of opening and everything, so that you have a couple of days to kind of catch your bearings and know where you're going. This also gives you that element of control of knowing where you're going to go for the first couple of days. So on the day of your trip, make sure you use your cell phone to take photographs of you locking up. This is a tip for you, Mom, because we spent so many of my childhood vacations with Mom about 2 hours into the trip saying, did I turn off the iron? Did I turn off the stove? Did I unplug the kettle? Did I lock the front door? Now that we have smartphones, we can actually video ourselves doing this. You can take a picture of all the oven switches being on 0. This just helps really give you peace of mind when you go away. Now, it's been proven that even a pretend smile can help make you feel good. So if you can smile for 30 seconds at a time, you can actually help yourself to feel happy and less stressed before you go on your trip. And you will feel happier because you're smiling. What you are feeling is called anticipatory anxiety because you are imagining events that could possibly go wrong in the future. The sentences that run through your head probably start with, what if? What if the hotel room is awful? What if the plane is delayed? What if somebody in my party gets ill? These are bad events that may or may not happen. And this is where mindfulness is your best friend. You're not trying to avoid the negative thoughts here, but just gently bring yourself back to the present moment. Tune into your breath. Ask yourself questions about your senses, what sensations you are feeling in your body at this present moment. And that will help bring you back to the now. And then my final tip before you go away is not to watch any sensational news programs. They are dramatic for a reason. They're trying to get ratings, and what will happen is that takes your emotions on a wild ride, and that's the last thing you need before you're going on your trip. So try to watch things that are going to keep you calm and on an even keel. Thanks for watching, and I wish you a great trip wherever you're going.